And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another week, another edition of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 59, your weekly dose of PiGosaur Cup action. I'm of course just VIP with you and joined by these amazing players, by the P1 chats and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. As we are jumping into our first series of the broadcast. If you're in the chat, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we are jumping into our first series. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss himself. It is AppleJuice. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Terran player. It is Matrix. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our initial best of 3 round of 32 match. As we get into this, a big shout out to Slow Joe in the chat. God, thank you so much for gifting a couple of subs in the chat. Gifting a sub to Getcha and gifting a sub to Gnome Chomsky as well. Gracias, Papa, gracias. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it as always. And again, it's great to be back here once again with PiGosaur Cup, covering it live. We've been doing a lot of replay casts as of late, and to be fair, we were here live last week, but if you remember, the internet went down, and I hope that it doesn't go down here this week. Fun fact, a thunderstorm just started. just started thundering outside. It hasn't started raining yet, but there's a thunderstorm, so hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully there's no power outage or there's no drop when it comes to internet this time. Last week that was the case. Hopefully this time we're able to maintain ourselves. If you remember last week, I think the internet went down. Ooh, I think we were in the quarterfinals. We were covering Percival versus Beyond. That's it, Percival versus Beyond in the quarterfinals, and we didn't get to cover the semis or finals because of that. It was very smudge. It was very, very smudge. This time, hopefully we can cast the entire event. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. For now, though, we're going to be settling in. We do have our standard openers. So far, so good. We have an economic opener out of Matrix going Rax Expand. Meanwhile, AppleJuice going for his own Gate Expand into Cybercore. Ooh, Matrix going for the bunker behind the mineral line. Reaper is going to be on the way. And the goal here is to get behind the mineral line and deny as much mining time as possible, disrupt the economy of the Protoss. Now, coming into the series very quickly, AppleJuice is a GM player. We've casted AppleJuice before. He is a GM. He's more of an amateur player, though, I will say that. Matrix I'm unfamiliar with. This is not the same as Matrix. Matrix is a Polish Protoss player, but he does have multiple X's in his name. This is Matrix, a very different kind of player, I believe, from the Americas. I'm not entirely certain, not fully aware, but regardless, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's see what you have to offer. As he does try to pick in. Pokes in, pulls away. Twilight Council opener out of AppleJuice, heading into Blink, I would imagine, getting into a standard opener. And welcome, of course, to Tourmaline. Again, I think it's been like 3 weeks at this point, but I feel like I still haven't casted enough of some of these maps. It's been quite some time since we've had the new map pool, but I guess part of it is also because we haven't been casting the Water TV Mondays on a regular basis. So true, like with less of that and with less PiGosaur Cup, like we've just been a little bit less engrossed in the new map pool, unfortunately. As the boys being pulled down, the boys are pulled, the Reapers are shut down. A bit of miscontrol there by Matrix, getting surrounded, but some nice movement out of AppleJuice, locking down those Reapers, and that should not have happened. Yeah, that should not have happened. The bunker is denied, of course, and AppleJuice, he will defend. And with that, so far so good for the Protoss. Robo's on the way, extra gateways as well. So far, 2 gates, going to be 3 gate Blink, I would imagine. Meanwhile, back at home, Matrix, he's getting to his own 3-1 setup here. No starport. So this is going to be a second and third racks before the starport. This tells us this is hyper aggressive, and there's a very high chance this turns into a 2-base all-in. As we're delaying medevac production, we're delaying any kind of starport play in favor of Stim, in favor of mass bio. But before that happens, without that Cyclone, this Stalker is being so annoying. Oh, doesn't get a Stalker, so doesn't get a Marine. Marine does survive. A couple of boys are pulled away. Oh, SCVs are going down. Losing 1 SCV so far. The other 2 do get away. Oh. And Matrix holds. Matrix does hold on. A bit of a messy defense here for Matrix, but does hold nonetheless. Lack of bunker here on the low ground is concerning, bearing in mind that we are very Marine heavy. The tank is on the way. Once the tank arrives, we should be okay for the time being. I say for the time being because I believe, how many gateways do we have? 3 in the main base, 1 at the natural, 4-gate blink. Hyper aggressive out of AppleJuice. Rushing into 4-gate blink Stalker. Prism is on the way. We're going to double down. We're going to commit. And without a bunker on the low ground, I think AppleJuice may just win. Matrix, his army is so vulnerable, so exposed. His army is stronger defensively back at home. Pre-siege with SimCity with bunkers. Oh, does snipe the Prism though. Okay. Prism does a move in. Prism goes down. And suddenly Matrix, he can make this work. He can make this work. The Cyclone barely does survive. But we shouldn't be pushing. Matrix, he shouldn't be pushing. Loving the siege here on the tall graph. Tank shot goes off. And gets one, gets two. Gets 2 Stalkers, not bad. 2 Stalkers are a Cyclone. Cyclone's already going to go down. And Matrix, he pulls the boys. Again, 2 base all in, as we mentioned before. The Tell was no add-on. Tell was no starport. Boys are being pulled. But is there enough here to really make this work? The boys are spotted. AppleJuice does not have to go in. There we go. There's the siege. Now he can dive. Hiding back. Picking up a couple of SCVs. 3 SCV kills. Picking up some Marines as well. The boys are meant to be there to buffer, but that's a lot of Marines falling. That's a lot of DPS going down. It's a bit of miscontrol here from Matrix. As he does siege. Still continuing to rally. I mean, his tanks are still up and running. Immortal is still on the way. And AppleJuice has to wait for Matrix to try to push forward here, with those tanks specifically. Tank is edging ever closer. Immortal has arrived. Here comes that 3rd tank. We gotta go on top of it. Yeah, there goes a warp in. Then down goes the 1st tank. He gets 1, he gets 2. 1 more tank shot goes off. It's a lot of Stalkers going down, but alas, it looks like AppleJuice, he should have enough. Yeah, should have enough. Takes out every single tank. Bunker goes down. The Immortal did survive. And with an extra warp in here, AppleJuice should have enough to clean everything up, and he will. Takes out the tanks, the SCVs, and every single Marine, and there is nothing left here. We still have a rally across the map, but GG gets called, and AppleJuice will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG well played. A bold move out of Matrix to go for the 2 base all in. When he did, it did feel like it was still lacking a little bit of teeth there. It did have a decent engage in the center of the map, catching the Warp Prism, catching a couple of Stalkers as well. Very impressive initial engage, but you saw how long it took for the tanks to get within range of anything meaningful. Even though the tanks were sieged up, technically within range of the natural, only within the range of a gateway. So there was nothing pressuring AppleJuice. He had so much time to warp in, to wait for the Immortal specifically. If we were a little bit more assertive there from Matrix, if the tanks are able to push forward first and get within range of the Robo, siege up and shut the Robo down before the Immortal pops out, different story then and there. But again, he was a little bit more conservative with how he placed his tanks, again only within range of the first gateway, and it did give a lot of time for extra warp-ins, extra reinforcements, extra economy, extra minerals, and of course the Immortal as well. With that GG well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the green Protoss player. We have green Protoss himself representing Team Pigpen. It is AppleJuice. Get that juice, Pappy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself. It is Matrix. Let's go. Let's go. Terrans are going for 2 all-ins, which chances are much better in the late game. Chances are much better in the late game. If you've been watching StarCraft as of late, you'll know that there's a reason why the pro scene, the pro Terran players like, not just Beyond has always been doing it, but players like Clem, players like Bunny, Cure, Percival, a lot of the top Terran players have now started to stop going for 2 base all-ins and have started going for more mid to late game play. Again, this has been a shift in recent times because of the latest patch and because of the new map pool as well. So 2 base all-ins have fallen out of meta. Again, the TVP meta has been shifting a lot over the past year. Shifting a lot. Now we're out of the 2 base all-in phase. Of course, Matrix is going for it, but again, I was referring to the top level of Terran play. Here we go. Here we go. For now, we do have, oh, once again, a single gas opener, but we have Matrix going for a Rax into a factory before CC. So an interesting opener here out of our Terran. And now going for a later second gas. But basically delayed CC. Delayed CC, with this we have a more tech-heavy start. We can lead this into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go into earlier Cyclones, into a Cyclone drop, early tank production, or even into an earlier 1-1-1, into earlier Banshee play. So we have a lot of options here for Matrix. We'll see where he takes us. Here we go. As Matrix does hide an SCV across the map, but we're going proxy starports. Yeah, there it is. Proxy starport is on the way. We're going for a Hellion drop. Now, I say Hellion drop. Technically, this could be a Hellion harass at the natural and a Liberator into the main base. So this could be proxy Liberator, but there's a higher chance it's going to be medevac into Hellion drop instead. So Matrix is setting up. 2 bases or too many. 1 base all the time. True, true. 1 base all in. Pappy. I mean, unironically, there is no natural bases, no CC. Hyper committed play here for Matrix. And we'll see if AppleJuice can get a read on what's going on. So far, it is going to be a Twilight Council back at home, getting to blink once again. AppleJuice doesn't really have much vision. He did scout the factory across the map. He saw the racks. But he has not confirmed the CC. And there's no sentry. Oh, nice read though. I mean, he didn't spot the Hellions. So AppleJuice, he's fully walling off. This is the correct move to go for against this build. The reality is you don't know if the Hellions are going to come into the natural or coming into the main. Drop into the main base, and AppleJuice, he is in position. He's got his full wall off going. But how many stalkers does he have? Only 1. Oh, God. He's only got 1 stalker. No. Warp gate is just not finishing up. We need a warp in. Oh, the Hellions do not dive. He spotted the stalker. He's going to boost in. Yeah, he's going for the mineral line. Rushing on forward. 4 Hellions there with 1-shots. So far gets 5. Ooh, the workers do line up. Yeah, they line up for a moment there. So far, oh no! Oh my god, 9 probes going down. 1 more volley, he gets it. 14 probe kills. Ay, crippling damage in the main. But there's something scary about this. On the one hand, this is some nice damage. On the other hand, remember, Matrix did heavily delay his natural. Like, we could have still gone for this build, just going for a Rax factory into CC, but because we went starport first, it does mean that Matrix also still has a lower worker count. He's still in a better economy, but not as good as otherwise could be. And oh my god, we are going into a Dark Shrine. Really awkward position though. We have a Dark Shrine alongside all the other tech. It's here in the main. There's a high chance that if this medevac goes back into the main base, he will scout this. Yeah, when behind a Dark Shrine, DTs are on the way. Matrix is now finishing up his own natural. Matrix is in a better economic position. But if he mules too hard, these DTs can wreak havoc. Oh boy. Here we go. Dark Shrine is almost done. Prism is moving out. AppleJuice is pushing. Now, we have seen the best Terran players in the world GG out in this kind of game state. We've seen Beyond, we've seen Cure, we've seen top Terrans insta GG if DT show up, if they mule at the wrong moment. But I believe there is energy in the main. Yeah, there is a scan. There's 1 scan available. Does he mule? He's holding onto it. Yeah, he's holding onto it. The first tank is going to go down. Ooh. Some rough tank shots though, and the tank survives. Oh my god, the tank survives. Matrix holds, and this is looking disastrous here for AppleJuice. Where those Dark Templar again? He's still holding onto the scan. He's still holding onto that energy. There's a safety turret as well. Wow. Safety turret. The DTs, they do nothing, and AppleJuice is falling far behind. He's drew away the stalkers. Do you have a scan? Oh, he just muled. Oh, God. He just muled. No shot. Free damage. How many kills do we have? 7, 8, 9. There we go. Really unfortunate moment to mule there. Oh, warped in within range of the scan. And that was some nice damage, getting some Marines here in between the bases. But overall, Matrix does hold. Matrix does take a lead. And Matrix can turn this into a 2-base all-in, bearing in mind that AppleJuice is expanding, right? AppleJuice is getting a 3rd base, he's taking him in towards charge. But this is a very shaky follow-up here out of the Protoss player, and Matrix may just be able to build up on 2 bases and pull the boys. 3rd TC is on the way. I'll be honest, I prefer the idea of him going for a 2-base all-in here to just kill AppleJuice. Going for a 3rd base is going to give AppleJuice a chance to recover. AppleJuice, he will have the opportunity. We'll see if he can take it. Matrix still being active, going for a drop here across the map. Gets 1, 2, 3 pro kills. Decent damage. Didn't lose much, not yet. Oh god! As a matter of fact, takes a lot of hits, but does barely get away. And here comes the main push. There's still a 3rd commensurate behind this, but this is still quite dedicated. There's a lot here. Okay, we just pull the boys. Fake 3rd CC. we just pull the boys, papi. Let's go. Let's go. Matrix, he commits. He's got his 4 tanks. Prism moves out. Spots the main army. True. AppleJuice, can he get on top of the unsieged tanks? Can he try to line this up? He does have a decent amount of zealots. Observer gets spotted. And here he comes. And he does go for the dive. The tanks do siege up a little bit too late. The tank save will go down. Massive pickups here. Zealots to get all 4 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, Matrix will lose everything. He'll lose the entire army. Gets completely swallowed up. At the same time, dropped to the main base. This is getting more damage done. And going for the Apoptosis pylon. Does he get it? Barely does, so he'll lose everything. We'll lose the drop and we'll lose momentum as well. Matrix, alas, he was unable to break out across the map. He was unable to siege up in time. He lost everything. Yes, he has a 3rd CC, but he just lost a wave of workers. And now that economic advantage isn't really there anymore, and AppleJuice is moving out. He's moving out, and 0 tanks to defend, 0 bunkers. The Zell save will trade well. They can even try to force some friendly fire. Oh. Juice does pull away. Pulls away, still reinforcing. Prism into the main base. And as AppleJuice distracts, Prism goes in, and here comes a massive warping into the main. He's going for the mineral line. We got a DT in the mix as well. He can go for the turret itself. Yeah, it does go for the turret. Nice dodge. And again, Matrix had such a good start. he had such a good start, but yeah. Unfortunately, it was just a really poor fight across the map. Those 4 tanks basically did nothing. They did nothing. They buffered, I suppose, for the Bio army. But again, they were just late siege up. It wasn't just that they were late to siege. I should also give credit to AppleJuice. Oh, as he is moving in. Has to be careful. But AppleJuice, he had the Observer. The Observer saw everything. That's why he pounced when he did. He spotted the move out. He spotted the army. He's able to dive in, recognizing that it was vulnerable. And Matrix, he's going down to 20 SCVs. Again, barely anything left here. But a shout out to Matrix, he held his own. Like, I was favoring AppleJuice quite heavily here. But game 1 and game 2, like, these were actual builds. Found himself in a better position here the second game. That's a kill in the CC. But from here, he's up against the wall, losing his base, losing his economy. Matrix does have a larger standing army, and he can try to take a fight. Speaking of, gets a Stalker. Oh! Snips it. Does he get the Prism? Barely not. Prism does get away. And GG. With that, AppleJuice will take the series 2-0. He'll advance on into the round of 16. GG. GG, well played. You can sense the frustrations there from Matrix because he was in a better position, right? Like, he defended well against the initial opener. Sorry, he was able to deal some decent damage. He was able to defend and shut down the DT counterattack as well. Matrix, he was in a good position, and then it did slip through his fingers. Did slip away. Unfortunately, when it came to the push across the map, he got caught on siege. He lost all 4 tanks for nothing, for maybe a couple of zealots here and there, but he lost all his tanks. From there, he lost the bio and he lost the game. He just lost too much momentum. He had nothing to defend back at home. No bunkers, no safety tanks. GG. GG, well played. Oh. And with that, that leads us here into... that leads us into the round of 16. This is also an example, by the way, of why we've seen less 2-base all-ins in this matchup, specifically in this map pool. We've already been talking about this, but for those that maybe haven't been watching much StarCraft as of late, in latest patch and latest map pool, we have a lot of larger maps, and because of that, all-ins are weaker. When it comes to what maps to favor all-ins, I'm thinking of Ruby Rock, I'm thinking of Tourmaline. Those are the two that come to mind. Outside of that, I could be forgetting one. Let me just double check here. Yeah, I'm thinking Ruby Rock, I'm thinking Tourmaline, and there might be one other here. All right, 10,000 feet. That's it, 10,000 feet. Those are the 3 maps that are like decent for 2-base all-ins. But outside of that, the rest of the maps are very large. They're very, very large, longer rush distance by ground. And if you attempt to all-in on them, there's a higher chance that your opponent is able to shut it down and defend. That's why we've seen players actually step away from that hyper-aggressive play and embrace the mid-game and embrace later games as well. Whew. But regardless, let's head on over. Let's head on over here to the bracket, exclamation mark, be in the chat. Have a look at the back yourselves. Let us head on over.